Live from Burbank, we are back. I'm here joined by Cole Tarrant, and for those of you joining us, we just finished the WCS EU Challenger, and we're moving on to the North America.
It's great. It's going to be a ton of fun. We have a ton of awesome names here. I'm so excited. This is going to be my favorite group, I think. You know, in Canning, we got the man himself, Future, Astrea, and Rob. I mean, what more could you want from an NA group?
It is America personified.
It really is.
Group,
It's really a shame that one of these guys is going to have to go home today. But, you know, there can only be 2 memers in the round of 8.
That is true. And, hey, the votes are still open. And a lot of these guys are actually in the running. So maybe if they put them on a show.
Absolutely. So what we're saying, guys, vote for those who win. Don't vote for the ones who lose. Of course, if you guys don't know the format, there it is.
Players compete for a spot in the WCS Challenger. 16 players will fight through the group stage, and only 8 players will advance to the playoff grab brackets. A winner will be crowned.
In each region, I hear.
In each region.
In each region. What a great tournament. What a great time. We get to crown all these regional challengers, have them all show up.
The crowning always happens off stream, though.
Right.
Because people are like, "Where's the
Yeah, that happens off stream, and then they all show up to the event, get wrecked by Seoul or Koreans, and we move on, call another season. It's a good time.
Until we don't.
Until we don't. And yeah, guys, a lot of money on the line here for these guys. Of course, want to make sure that they get their money's worth. It's on top of me, kinda. There you go. $1,600, $1,200 to second. It's a good time, as well as those crucial WCS points. Get those seeding for the later events of this season coming up. It's a good time. Get yourself the BlizzCon seeding, all that important stuff.
There is a lot of Protoss in this group.
There sure is.
Cole Tarrant, and I see your tattoo is very. So are you particularly excited for how Protoss this group is?
Oh, I'm very excited. I want every dirty Protoss PvP cheese there is. I want to see cannon rushes, proxy gateways. I'm ready for it.
I'm ready for it too. So this should be pretty great. We're joining the lobby for our first game.
Yeah, Astrea taking on Rob here to start things off. First PvP of the day. Of course, Rob, formerly known as Tesla. Then we have Future taking on M. Canning there in our second match, TVP. As M. Canning making his first Challenger appearance in a little bit. Been a couple seasons since the last time he made it.
Just a couple. Looking very strong right now.
Absolutely.
M. Canning. And Future is just beastly. Future is one of the very few people that has been able to defeat Neeb in North America and even win a tournament over him, I believe, in Philadelphia not too long ago.
Yeah.
And he has been improving. He's holding #1 and #2 on the ladder right
now. It was super impressive. And like he's been doing so with dominant fashion as well. As this game going to be Astrea taking on Rob. I think Astrea definitely favored here, right? Astrea been having a lot of very good results recently.
I don't know about that. Rod is in Root Gaming, so
of course. I
hear he's probably favored against everyone.
Oh, okay. Like the favorite for the whole group. That
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
But Max Angel, I mean, he has the coolest name out of any player, probably.
That's true.
Like, if you could choose a name, it would probably be Max Angel.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, what? And I mean, look at that. What a sick jacket for that as well. Tried to point at it, but it's above me. So yeah, it's a good time. Astrea, Max Angel with the dope jacket taking on Rob. Does Root have equally dope jackets? Do we know?
No, we don't have jackets at the moment. No.
Okay.
Yeah. No, that's cool, man.
Just saying.
Just put me in the spotlight.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Alpha X has jackets.
Hey, maybe we'll print some jackets. Send them over to the great state of Texas.
Send them over. Oh, man. It's going to be a good time, guys, as we load into Acropolis for this first game. Rob taking on Astrea, best of 3 for Group A. It's going to be a fun time.
All right. So we are loaded in and spawning in the top. I want to say the top position first, right? Like it's a red. The top left-hand side of the map for Root Gaming. It is Rob.
Robbie Plata. A lot of R's to roll in that.
Indeed.
And his opponent from Alpha X Esports in the bottom right-hand side. In the blue, he is Astrea. Astrea. Max Angel.
Max. Is Max short for something? No, not in this case. I think he's just Max. Usually, is it Maximus or Maximum?
I think usually it'd be like Maximilian.
Maximilian.
But like, I feel like that's also a very pretentious name. I don't know who gives that anymore.
If you're watching too much Yu-Gi-Oh, maybe.
Maybe. I have been trying to figure. I'm still obsessed over that jacket, man.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Maximilian is the Yu-Gi-Oh guy, right?
Yeah. I don't know enough about Yu-Gi-Oh.
Right. You sweat and swallow your pride. Okay.
Right. Listen, I all I know is that Yu-Gi-Oh is cooler than Kaiba, and I will stand by that.
Yeah, this is true. No, this is false. We've had this argument way too much. No.
You just agreed to it on stream, man.
Dude.
I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, like I didn't watch Yu-Gi-Oh. That's a disclaimer, okay?
Okay.
But just looking at them, like Yu-Gi-Oh is like the emo kid that has like he has like 3 different colors in his hair.
How cool is that? Like yellow, black, and red? Come on.
I'm not sure. Like I'm wearing a scarf, but that's a little bit too much for me, you know? Like, and then there's Kaiba, who has he has the emo mage on his side.
You're right. The dark magician.
The dark magician.
Yes. You're right, and he does have the flared jacket. You're right.
And Kaiba, on the other hand, has the blue-eyed white dragon or something like that. Just like
yeah. What's wrong with the blue-eyed white dragon?
No, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's way cooler than Yu-Gi-Oh.
I've backed myself into a corner here.
You have.
Huh.
Unless you would rather have the dark mage as your best friend than the blue-eyed white dragon.
All right. Listen, I can concede that in some situations Kaiba might be cooler. As the gray face comes down, it's very safe openers from both these guys. That Stalker Sentry allows for the very early hallucination, double Stalker follow-up. I mean, this is just about as by the book as you can get here. Yeah,
so there's plenty of openers here in terms of, like, well, it's usually 2 gateways, and everyone does that in PvP, but usually you can see a mix of either Adepts or Stalkers or Stalker Sentry. Right, and what favors what in your opinion? Like, how do these 2 openers match up against each other?
You know, the double stalker definitely allows that player to be more aggressive, as we see. You know, moving out on the map a little bit, trying to chase down that probe. Generally speaking, I definitely prefer. I feel like the opener favors the sentry player. You know, with that early hallucination, it's going to know exactly what's going on across the map, as well as not really being in any danger. You know, if anything comes across the map, a well-placed force field to buy himself the time. Has the robo facility coming up much faster, I believe, right? Yeah, way faster on the other side of things, with no expansion coming down, but now it's aware of it.
And how would this match up against, like, I wonder why everyone doesn't make the same 2 units. Like, does Stalker Sentry lose to Adepts or something like that, or is it, like, worse against Adepts?
You know, I'm not 100% sure on why people don't go for the double Stalker to open up every time. You know, the Stalker Sentry, it's just so safe, right? I'm not sure what the reasoning is to get these 2 Stalkers first, other than allowing you to be more aggressive like now, because we have such a big attack coming. You know, you have more army at the front. These force fields plus the shield battery going to be crucial in making this hold. It's 400 minerals invested into that Nexus, combined with the 2 shield batteries here.
Yeah, almost want to see Astrea pull further back into his base to bait the units if they want to shoot at anything. And then force field using that choke. Because at the moment, you know, he's not doing that. There's the Warp Prism, and with this, the force fields are going to be rendered useless. But there is that shield battery that you were just talking about. It's going to be depleted of energy soon, but a new one just finished. And this is looking all right for Rob, I want to say. Let's see.
Yeah, looking okay so far with that robotics bay on the way behind this. Ooh.
Oh, big pickoffs by Maximus Angel, who has now
out of energy.
Yeah, he's out of energy. Has run out of energy on the sentry. Oh, could have gotten that pickoff on the Stalker. I feel like he thought he had it and backs away. And now with the Immortal, it's gonna be very, very difficult for Rob to make anything happen.
Yeah, this is such a tough push, and with that Warp Prism on the way behind this as well, going to allow that micro potential. Disruptors on the way on the back side of all this for Rob, and he's still on 1 base. He is just committing full on to the front here. He needs to get something done. He absolutely has to either find his way into the main mineral line with that Warp Prism or break the front. And it's not looking likely that he'll be able to break the front right now.
Yeah, I mean, that Disruptor could change everything, right? It can kill one shot, can kill so many units, and apply enough pressure that it can make your opponent leave his base and take an engagement outside of those, what do you call them, shield batteries.
Absolutely, and Zealot's now going to be drawing quite a bit of pressure away. 5 Stalkers having to come up to respond to this, as well as denying that mining time. Main forces clash a little bit, but Rob not going to be able to gain much ground.
Yeah, he needs that Disruptor in order to push.
So crucial. Oh, the Warp Prism goes down!
That's huge.
That is massive.
Yeah, another couple of probes will go down. Rob trailing very far behind in supply. And economically speaking, I mean, it's irreparable, this situation. He has to kill his opponent with this Disruptor. It just has to hit a bunch of units.
He has 2 Disruptors now. Those 2 Novas are going to be the only things that have a chance of bringing them back in this game right now.
There's an observer spotting for it. He's going to see it right away. Max Angel very smartly not cornering himself, pushing out so that the Disruptor is forced to use a shot, not in a clumped up area, but in a very open one, and this is exactly what happens.
Oh my goodness!
Very good awareness by Rob, going after the units in the back. Not so much by Max Angel, who had the right idea. He basically offered a few units in sacrifice, was probably ready to split, and now Rob all of a sudden with a chance.
Yeah, with second Disruptors here as well, it's going to be another Nova. Oh man, Astrea has to be so careful right now. Has the economic lead, just needs to buy time, but is running out of room to position with that shot.
Oh, very nice save with the Warp Prism, and that's going to be crucial for Max Angel if he wants to stay in this game. Let's see what happens here, as the next Disruptor shot is going to be a whiff, and he's going to wait and chill until it recharges. That Warp Prism is going to be so important.
Yeah, and so important for Rob as well to play around those Disruption Nova timings. Has to know exactly when they're available, and so does Astrea, trying to abuse the lack of them being available right now. Great saves.
Yeah.
Phenomenal stuff so far by Astrea. That one shot really been the main saving grace for Rob here, as he continues to have to rely on slow warp-ins. That Disruptor, the Warp Prism just now getting here.
Yeah, very important to transport those Disruptors potentially and get some better shots off of them. The Immortal's trailing a little bit far behind. And here's a good purification Nova, potentially gets a few units and another one. No!
Ooh. Okay, one of the Disruptors go down, now the other one's still alive. Pushing forward are these Stalkers, the 4 Immortals, so important here, and so hard to beat for Rob.
Yeah, I feel like he could have gone for the Immortals with that purification Nova. May not have killed them, but it would have been critical damage onto the very key units that they are.
Man.
Now Rob is just...
Yeah, trying to trade out against it, was trying to target down that Warp Prism to limit any micro potential, but just took too much damage there, and Astrea gonna strike first with a very nice hold there. And just good follow-up, right? I mean, Astrea, other than that one shot, really was never in any questionable position. Great hold of that one base push.
Through and through. I mean, yeah, holding until the Immortal gets there, the Immortal gets out. It basically stops for Rob. A nice attempt with a Warp Prism, but then Astrea was ready for that, kills the Warp Prism, and the Purification Novas were beautifully answered just by sheer positioning.
Right. And, Rob, Rob going for a very aggressive build there, definitely almost paid off, right? But like you said, holding until that Immortal got out, being able to add on the 2 shield batteries, just made it such a tough spot. And Rob not being able or not choosing to as well, try to transition. I don't think would have been able to get away with it regardless, but was just locked into such a tough spot, and did a great job trying to bring it back. Was doing the right things, but at that point you're just so far down. Now it's going to have to be bringing it back here for game number 2 on New Repugnancy for the opening map of Group A of North American Challenger. And Astrea looking good so far, man.
Yeah,
looking very solid.
Living up to his name.
So, if as a Rob fan here, do you want to see him play more standard in this next one, or do you want to see him continue the aggression, continue to keep things?
I think that aggression is his strength. I think that he can stick to it. I think that he was surprisingly still in the game through and through. Like many times I thought, okay, he's dead, okay, he's dead, okay, he's dead. And then he always had the next level plan, and it almost worked every time. Those Zealots in the main could have done a little bit better. The Warp Prism couldn't, may not have... if it hadn't died, it would have been much better. The Purification Novas after the first one.
Right.
Or if he was able to... Like, the thing is, Max Angel just handled it so beautiful by being out there with the units. I can't stress enough how good that positioning was.
It was so sick. Like, giving himself so much room to work with, and it was great awareness by Rob as well. You saw him at the end, what caused the losing fight there was him trying to pick off the Warp Prism, being very aware of the health bar of that Warp Prism is the staying power of that army as it moves forward.
The Observer by Astrea was also
right.
So how do you
sick.
account for that?
Yeah, exactly. And and with how restricted his economy was, it wasn't even like he could have gotten. Rob could have afforded an Observer of his own to try and contest that. We saw whenever his Warp Prism died, having to do slow warp-ins the entire time. If that Warp Prism stays alive, potentially Rob's able to break him there. But yeah, Astrea with a good hold and
walking the Disruptor all across the map too. I wonder if at that point, like, do you just make a proxy nexus and recall?
Honestly, it might have been faster to do that.
Yeah.
Like,
well, definitely faster. I'm not sure if the investment would be worth, but it would cut a good chunk of time for 400
absolutely.
Bucks. So, all right, and we're loaded into the game, my friend.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one here as we start off on the bottom right-hand side representing Root Gaming. He is Rob.
and somehow also on the right-hand side as the blue Protoss, it is Max Angel Astrea, representing Alpha X.
Listen, I play Protoss. They don't teach us cardinal directions, okay?
True that, true that. You just warp in your zealots. They know where to run.
Exactly. They know what's up.
Ooh, look at this though.
Ooh.
Spawning at the right, indeed. Indeed, you just saw it coming, didn't you?
Yeah, that clearly. Just omnipotent here as, or omniscient? That's weird, whatever. Gateways and a forge with this too. I love it.
I am loving this already. And this is what you want to see from my boy here, Rob. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Is he an actual angel?
He must have an angel watching over him, man, because he is on top of it right now.
Okay, that was the most bizarre scout I've ever seen. That was...
Wow. Oh, it keeps him from getting on the high ground, too.
I mean, yeah, that's brutal so because, you know, there's a forge. He wants to cannon rush here. Oh, this is gonna be difficult for Rob. Let's see how he handles. I mean, there is an extra investment for Astrea to block the entrance of that probe, and there is 2 gateways on the way, so this might be enough. Astrea, I don't think has spotted the forge even, right? But this must be somewhat of a commonality. Now these players know each other well. They play against each other on the North American server all the time. So I think this was a routine checkup from Max Angel, knowing his opponent, and what can Rob do?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm very curious to see how it's going to play out for Rob, as those 2 cannons on the high ground for Astrea already well underway. We have, of course, cannons potentially going to be coming up already on the low ground for Rob. If he's able to keep that pylon alive and keep the contention up on the high ground, he will be able to break through this eventually. There'll be tons of damage going on that gateway, getting focused down, trying to let those zealots into the base. Nice job keeping the wall up by Astrea.
Yeah, I gotta say, I don't like the target firing by Astrea here, going after the cannon, because the zealots are the threat. The cannon's gonna get dealt with anyway later on.
Yeah,
but he handles it
there.
Right?
Yeah, does hold on, and will be able to deny the high ground from the pylon at least. That zealot trying to give some more. But so far, it's looking pretty held by Astrea. I mean, has resecured his high ground. Doesn't have a gateway right now.
Yeah, that's big. Dropping a robo right away, actually, so going straight into the tech. He did invest equal number of cannons, so this is by no means, I think, game over. It's still playable from here, but it's going to be very, very difficult for Rob.
Yeah, especially as this continues and there's, you know, the gas income's only just starting for Rob. It's gonna be an uphill battle for sure. The lack of gateways definitely very nice for Rob.
I'm not sure what the zealots are trying to spot for. I mean, maybe even if you look at the high ground, what are you gonna do with it?
Are they maybe just holding for a probe, trying to build and expand and hoping to get the hits as it gets routed past?
Maybe he spent a lot of time looking at those zealots and rearranging them to see something, but the cannons are empowered. So. Let's see what happens here. There is an Immortal now in production. That's gonna be easy clearing, potentially of the proxy. I think if these gateways die, then it's gonna be game over.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the spawn at the right.
I didn't even realize the Cybercore was over there. Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, everything's over there. So.
That's so tough.
Yeah, you called it from the start, but can't believe it. This game has been bizarre. First you called that both players spawn at the right. I'm laughing at you, and then it happens. Then the scout. From Astrea, and now we're here, and I think that's just gonna be a game.
Yeah, those gates gonna get unpowered. Now we have Warp Gate done. We're about to have, I mean, really just 3 Stalkers plus this Immortal is gonna be enough. I mean, the cannon's coming up here, shredding through the Zealots. The Immortal just running straight into these Stalkers' faces, putting an end to this game and an end to the series. As Astrea will advance.
Yeah, very well played by Maximum Angel.
Yeah, played a just very clean hold there. Rob twice going for very, very aggressive plays and not quite planning out.
Well, we promised the epitome of North American StarCraft.
And they're delivering. I mean, Rob alone has just delivered on half the things that I wanted. It's great. This is fantastic. Really excited to see Rob. Of course, we'll be seeing him again in the elimination match coming up later today. So definitely not out, and definitely still has a very fighting chance to get out of this group, I feel. But you know, it's an uphill battle. Next up, it's going to be Canning taking on Future. Very excellent TVP that is going to be coming, and
a barn burner.
Barn burner, yes. And Rob, of course, taking on the loser of that. It's going to be a fun time, guys. Lots of awesome StarCraft action coming up. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more WCS Challenger.